Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Big shout out to EKN Nation. My name is Rob Howden. David Cole over here. I'm actually going to put something on my laptop that I know where to point to. David Cole, Rob Howden here, folks, for another edition of Face2Face. We went a little late. We were doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be a Wednesday and Thursday this week. I gave David Memorial Day off, gave him a day off on Monday. Then he had to do a little moving yesterday, so we didn't. I actually cleaned my house yesterday. We didn't do it. We took a couple of days off to breathe, I think, a little bit. I don't know how many of you, like myself, I pretty much cried myself to sleep every night on the weekend because I should have been at the Indianapolis 500 and the Freedom 100 on Carb Day on Friday. But, of course, the Indy 500, like so many events, being moved further down the schedule. That race now set for the middle of August. Looking forward to that. It'll actually be right after the SCUSA Summer Nationals, the doubleheader at Newcastle Motorsports Park. But, David, all in all, things are looking good. If we talk COVID-19, coronavirus, we see things starting to open up a little bit. The numbers definitely coming down on a regular basis here in Canada. We're seeing a lot of the U.S. start to open up as well, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, it's shocking that Canada is actually opening tracks quicker than Michigan. It sucks for me, but that's the good thing is Canada is opening up. We're seeing tracks in Europe starting to open up as well. We're getting a number of events in the United States, depending on where you are, that are being hosted. We're looking at June as being a much broader spectrum of events that are going to be held. Road races are going to be held, some larger regional events. But everybody has the ability. We saw NOLA Motorsports Park having a double header. So people from Texas flooding over to NOLA to go race there. So Northern California is starting to get a glimmer of hope. We're seeing some, possibly some tracks opening up there. And again, just different dynamics depending on where you are. We're going to be talking with Mark Coates, who's in Illinois. They're a little bit kind of similar to what Michigan is right now, to where Tim Coyen, who's up in Wisconsin, they're in a kind of different element, very similar to maybe Indiana or Ohio. So even though we're kind of in the same general area, everything's still kind of being, different aspects for different states and counties and even towns.
Yeah, I was going to try to get Aaron Stanfield on as well from the Puget Sound Road Racing Association up in Washington, but they're actually racing at the Ridge this weekend. And I was going to have him on here today or tomorrow, but he actually is already back to work and wasn't able to join us. But yeah, the Ridge Road Racing out in Pacific Northwest is getting rolling as well. Just so everybody knows, at the top here, we are lined up tomorrow as well with a couple more series leaders. Kind of the thing I think right now, we could bring in some other guys, and we will bring in some other stories to talk about here on Face2Face. But right now, of course, getting a chance to talk with the series promoters would be a good idea. Michael Valiente from the Pacific Northwest is going to join us tomorrow to talk about what's going on up in that region, and Marco Oldoffer as well from F-Series, so we'll have him on here tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit more about those programs. Of course, New York is a tough place, David. You talked about Michigan being kind of locked down. Illinois, New York, of course, one of the ones locked down as well. All right, let's go. Let's bring our guests in today, David. We got one face-to-face, one face to audio, because issues for Tim Coyen can't get the camera working, so he's going to keep working on that. Bring in Mark Coates first. Mark's been around the sport for a long time, promoter, of course, of the USPKS, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the Route 66 Sprint Series. Also ran his own team for many years, Mark Coates Racing. Of course, Tim Coyen, who one of the top announcers in the sport, owned Cartlift for a time, sold that, still owns Deep Seat. Has been involved on the actual administration of series side for many, many years as well. Guys, thank you for joining us. Mark, Tim, pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be here. Glad I don't have to see myself.
I was going to say, it's kind of a positive right now.
It's definitely a plus for everybody else.
Well, it's like the announcing part of it, where you can hear him, but you don't have to see him.
That's it.
I know. My wife maybe put a clean shirt on too. It's unfortunate.
Well, we're gonna be able to feel that in your voice, Tim. Because you have to dress. The way you dress is the way you feel, is the way you present yourself. So we're gonna be able to know that. Good for you.
Excellent.
Did you have a shower at least?
Oh yeah, twice.
Twice. I appreciate that. So again, listen, folks, one of the things we're doing here with these face-to-face videos is giving the people an opportunity, maybe that don't know about certain levels of the sport, certain programs of the sport, because, we all understand those have been around long enough that we get a lot of turnover every 3 to 4 to 5 years. So we're always having new people come in, especially if you think about a young kid running in the cadet categories. They weren't racing 5 years ago. So we're using these to kind of educate people, get to know, get the actual face of people. Not Tim, of course, but getting a chance to see what these guys look like. So we go into the history. So Mark, let's start with you, because I want to get first some history. We don't start with your history, your timeline in racing. We don't start and being a promoter. We don't start with USPKS. Of course, you've had a great run so far. It's only getting bigger. Record numbers last year. But you've been involved in the Route 66 Sprint Series with different names, but you've been involved in that program for over 15 years, right?
It's over. My nephew just told me it's over 25 years. So
what? Wow.
I did lie and say 20 a couple of years ago, but it's really over 25 now.
That's amazing. So talk about that. What was the first program that you were involved in?
I think it was the I-55 series and with Mid-State Kart Club way back, and we just did 2 and 3 tracks. It's kind of like Keith's doing with his series now. We did Springfield, St. Louis, and TNT, and Norway when it was way back. And it just evolved from there. And it started out as a stepping stone between club and regional, or club and national. And it kind of got too nationally, so we backed it down a little bit back now, trying to get it more as a stepping stone for the regionals to the clubs. And we got a lot of good things planned for this year.
So that's what I like about the program. USPKS is kind of the East Coast national program, right? You have, everybody goes and runs it. It's Miami based. You're talking, David. What were the numbers last year, David? What did you guys get up to? Like, we're talking well over 150.
It was close. It was 170 or 180, I believe, was at Newcastle. Is what we had.
That's solid. Like,
yes,
we always say, right? It's 100 is here. Is 100's a big race. 150 is massive. 200 is like you've hit the jackpot. So I would think you guys are going to get 200 sometime this year. I know you had so much momentum, but so that's your national program, and then Route 66 is kind of the regional program that dials guys in to go run USPKS, and the Route 66 is the good jump for club racers who want to challenge themselves a bit more. Is that correct?
Yes.
So all right, so let's talk about how the program has evolved. Route 66 has evolved over the last number of years. You guys have moved around a bit in terms of engine packages as well. What's it looking like now?
Well, with the departure of the Yamaha, the KA is taken over in that. We got the Swift and Mini Swift classes. You have the KA. We have Junior, a light and a heavy. Basically, it's a Masters, but it's a light and heavy. We've taken the X30 out because it's just the cost. We kept it in the USPKS, but we've taken it out of the Route 66, and we've added the 4 Briggs classes back into the series.
And the bottom line is that just makes it an easier connection to club racing, right? To be honest.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You can call it a KLO series. You can call it what you want, but it's the KA series and the LO206 Briggs, which has been a great package for the sport.
Let's talk about USPKS now. Then you're gonna celebrate your 8th season this year. You started back in 2013. That's amazing. This program has grown. Let's talk about. Just give us an overview of what the USPKS is from your standpoint.
It started as an argument that we could do a better job than another series.
I thought
it's evolved from there, and honestly, we were looking to. And I'm not just saying this. We were expecting 250 entries at NOLA, or it's not NOLA, excuse me, but Ocala this year.
Wow. Okay.
And we had to cancel it like everybody else did. But I think we're going to have big numbers this year.
What do you attribute that to? I know that we talked to a lot of people about the culture top down and what the culture you're able to build. What do you attribute, you think, to the success of the USPKS over the last couple of years? How you've had so much momentum?
Once we got settled into the new IME packages and everything that's going on, we're trying to stay with a constant rule package. Our tech is second to none. I mean, if you want to cheat, you can try, but I think we're going to catch you. We got a great team with Rick and Al and Tim, and we just try to be fair. And I mean, Jason, our race director, has been with us for a long time, and we're bringing on some new people this year. And we was the first to bring the pushback bumper.
Yeah, you were.
which was very controversial, but now it's kind of the standard. It doesn't replace people, but it does make their job a little easier. We try keeping the fun aspect, even though it's professional.
But one of the things I think that you've done, which is smart, is you've kept that 3 races. I know you've talked about adding a 4th, but you're not doing 5, 6 races. You kept that thing tight. David talks about that all the time. How he thinks you should have smaller series. That way people can run the whole program and maybe do other things as well. How much do you think that's played a role? Just those 3 strong races. I know you've talked about that your team owners have potentially asked for a 4th race. Just to have that focus deal is big.
They definitely want that 4th race, and they're probably going to get their way next year. But we got to make it through this year.
Well, when we first started, it was 4 races.
There was 4 races.
So it was just, I think, and me and Mark have talked about this since the beginning of the program. And that's kind of the thing is the feedback that teams and not only teams, but just, regular racers who show up to the program, they're always providing their feedback on what they like and don't like. And there was a time in our schedule where there was just way too much racing going on. And when you took a step back, the numbers actually grew from that.
That's true. And look, we even dropped route back from 6 to 5 and from 5 to 4. And
I think I was just going to say, I think that one of the things that was a dynamic that was taking place earlier was that everybody was trying to run all the races, all the series, all the races. They wanted to run WK, they want to run SCUSA, they want to run us, they want to run this, they want to run that. And so having a 4-race series or a 5-race series was a challenge to get people to be able to do it all. And people have now kind of sort of come to their senses, I would say, and realized you can't do everything. So now they're picking what they feel is the best fit for them. And I think they feel like USPKS fits into their, wheelhouse very well. And they've made that one of their priorities and therefore are asking for an additional race to really maximize their enjoyment on that series.
Yeah, and that's it, Tim. They obviously like they like the product. When you really like the product, you want more of it, right? The 3 races is great, but man, we love what we're doing here. They obviously want to go to the next level. We do have a great comment here from Andy Saisman. Let's bring that one in, Dave. This is for you, Tim. Definitely a face for radio. So there you go. This is working out so well. Andy Saisman, of course, the promoter of the
feeling is mutual, Andy.
It's well played, sir. Perfect. All right, Tim, let's stick with you because obviously one of the reasons why we're getting together here today on Face2Face is to give you guys an opportunity to talk about what's happening now with Route 66 and with, or as Mark, you call it, Route 66, as well as Canada, I guess, as well as USPKS. So let's we pause our Face2Face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. You've heard and read about us. We are the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Our senior program is the best in the sport, and we have the SCUSA Pro Tour X30 Senior Championship to prove it. Our coaching staff includes 4-time SCUSA National Champion Ryan Norbert, 3-time SCUSA Supernats winner Bonner Moulton, SCUSA Pro Tour X30 Junior Champion, 2015 Rotax Grand Finals Vice Champion, and Junior Development Specialist Luke Selkin, and our hands-on owner, multi-time champion, and IKF Duffy winner Mike Rawlson. This isn't sideline coaching. We're on track, and we dogfight with you. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. You learn more and more with every single lap. Our seniors win races, like Hannah Greenmeyer at the SCUSA Winter Series opener in Florida. And they win because they've been trained, coached, and honed by our RPG staff. Hurricane Hannah is proof positive. If you're a mini driver ready to move up, or a junior driver who's done with running mid-pack, join the team that will develop your skills and take you to the podium. At the Rawlson Performance Group, we turn juniors into pros. In 2020, we'll be racing at the SCUSA Winter Series, Pro Tour and California Pro Kart Challenge, the Florida Winter Tour, and the United States Pro Kart Series, as well as the IKF Northwest region. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. We're the Rawlson Performance Group. We race to win. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and safety gear to get you on the track. ShopAKRA.com offers a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure that all the latest equipment is available to you, the consumer. With customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Also, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials, clearance items, and new products. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Tim, let's start talking about Route 66 because first couple of races canceled, obviously, with the COVID-19 pandemic. The race at Mid-State in April and the MRP race in May. You guys are jostling things around, a couple of TBDs, but tell us where we are right now in terms of Route 66 and your plans.
Well, our plan always has been to have a full season, regardless of how long this situation dragged on and if at all possible. And with only 4 races, we're really in a good spot to do that. And our first race is coming up July 4th weekend. It'll be at Road America. We had originally scheduled that race for Autobahn Raceway, which I might add is a beautiful facility. And Alan Bertignoli's done a great job there with their people, and it's a beautiful venue. But Illinois is just – I don't even know what to say. They just don't want to have any action right now. And there's no point in even trying to plan a race because I'd be shocked if we could get a race there at all this year, to be honest with you.
No, that's tough.
Yeah. So the first race is going to be at Road America at the CTEC Racing, CTEC Manufacturing Motorplex. They resurfaced that track a couple years ago. We got to go there. It was great. They tore down their decrepit scoring tower. And hopefully they found a large hole and bulldozed it into it.
It was a little rough. Nice. It was a little rough. I remember that.
Yep. Well, the air conditioning didn't work the last time I was there, and it was about 100 degrees, and you were in it's like a terrarium. So, but they've got a new. I don't know. Their future plans call for something better, but they've got a new press trailer that they've moved down there. That's actually quite nice. So we're looking forward to getting back in there and having our new format here with more Briggs classes. Briggs has really stepped up to help support the series, and they love the opportunity to cross-promote to our 2-cycle racers as well. And so, if you have some series that are all 4-cycle, it's like, well, yeah, this is great, but what do they have to gain from that market? And they see our 2-cycle racers as a valuable potential customer for their product. So they're throwing some things at us to help us be able to draw good crowds in for these races. For I believe for every race for this season, we're working with them to give away one of their big generators, a Briggs Power Smart generator, a 4,500 watt one. And that's going to be available to anyone, I believe, in all the classes. I don't believe it's just a Briggs class because they look at the others as their customers too.
Yeah.
In addition, they're going to cover the entry for 3 Briggs drivers per day at every event. So, if I understand that correctly, Mark,
that's awesome.
That's going to be in one class that they'll determine once at the event.
Yep, they'll determine what the class is at the event, and then they'll cover 3 entries for each day. So that's $750 a weekend, I believe, value. So that's, definitely, and that'll be a Briggs class, obviously, not a 2-cycle class, but, they're working with us to help grow that vein. And we feel like that's one, we probably would have been stronger in that area had we gotten on the 206 bandwagon sooner, but it took a few years we jumped on it way early and too early before everybody had really sorted out what the rules ought to be. Mm-hmm. And now, and it didn't work so well for us. So we gave it a few years to mature the market, and now we're back on it again starting last year. And we have a lot of support. We have tons of 2-cycle racers who are also racing the 206 because it's a great package. So.
That's the beauty of the 206. You can bring it with you, right? The setup's there. You bring it with you. You're working on the 2-cycle. You just jump in the 4-cycle to have more fun. That's I did that back in the day too. I think you'll see a lot of that. I wouldn't be surprised to see lots of guys do double duty. That's great.
We're probably going to do something too. If you win like the KA 100 junior and the 206 junior, they might get a bonus there. I'm working on something right now for that.
There you go. Mark's working, going at it. Keep going through the schedule, Tim. So the first race again, folks. Tim Coyen. You can't see him, but one of the series administrators for Route 66 and USPKS. So July 3rd, 4th, and 5th up at Road America at the C-Tech Manufacturing Motorplex. Where do we go from there?
Well, I believe that our next race is going to be at
Badger.
Yeah. And after that, we're kind of at a TBD level. We know we've got the dates pretty well secured, but we're not exactly sure where they're going to be. And some of that is just because it's kind of hard to anticipate what states are going to be, opened up. But Dousman is what we're looking at for the next race. And that's in the end of August, the 28th to 30th.
Okay.
And then towards the end of September, the 25th through 27th will be the third event. And then we're going to wrap it up in the second week of October, the 8th through 11th.
Joe Britton just commented the fact that Mid-State has been approved to start club racing on June the 20th. So that's a cool deal for the good folks over at the Mid-State Car Club. That's awesome. Get people back racing there as well. But yeah, so September 25, 26, 27, I think you guys have scheduled in for race number 3 and October 8, 9, 10, 11. David, you got down here? All right. So that would be the finale for Route 66.
Right. And we've got a full slate of classes, and I think it's going to go well. We've got the 2 Briggs senior classes, the medium and then the heavy, as well as the full junior and the sportsman complement. And then we have our full IAME classes, the KA program, which, just continues to roll. The funny thing about the KA, I was talking about this with someone the other day who has kind of been out of karting for a few years. They used to be pretty well known. And I'm not going to embarrass them by talking to them about it here, mentioning their name, but they were like, "What is this KA deal?" And I said, "Well, this KA deal was the gentleman's racing class where people would go and just kick back and relax and have fun." And that ended about 2 years ago. Now it's the second class for everybody who's chomping at the bit. And we see that at USPKS. We see all of the top guys from X30 now running the KA, but we're back to those situations now where you can run 2 classes like we had back in the old HPV Yamaha days, and it makes your travel dollar go further.
Yeah, it's think about it physically as well too, right? If you're a senior driver, it's not driving an X30 and then try to drive something else. The KA is a little easier to drive in terms of the physically. Then you jump into the 206 and have some fun as well. So I think that kind of makes the weekends go a little easier as well.
Yeah, that gives them really 2 options. I mean, you don't have to break the bank and you don't have to break your ribs. You have another option there.
Yeah, Coyen would know everything about ribs.
Yeah.
Who do you guys have?
The other thing, I'll say this.
Go, Mark.
We brought the KA class into USPKS as the first series in the country that had that class. And it's really grown, and Eric's done a great job promoting it on the East Coast. It hadn't taken off quite as good as in the California market, but I'm sure it will. The drivers en route actually did most of the top 5 in the Supernats the last couple of years that they added the class. So it's a good stepping stone for a lot of series.
For a guy that has called all 23 of the Super Nationals, and of course had a Shifter Card Illustrated magazine focused on shifters, David, that's one of our favorite races to watch. Both those KA races. God, I love those races at the Supernats. They're so good.
Well, and that's the one thing that the KA package does. It tightens up the field. There's not a lot of spreading out, and it relies more, and it's very similar to what the Briggs is. And I think that's why the route program has that ability to have drivers doing both, is because it's very, for us, me and you, we race Briggs all the time, and it's really about the chassis and the driver. And the KA essentially does that, but at a quicker pace of speed. Yeah. So, you like Tim was saying, the level of competitors now that are racing the KA category, it's phenomenal, because it's a lot of these X30 drivers that are coming to the KA package because they know they're going to be able to race be competitive right away and have a competitive race with more than just one or two people, and not have to worry about that bonsai mentality that you kind of see in some of the X30 categories, everywhere across the country.
All right, let's jump into USPKS. Mark, do you or Tim want to take kind of the reins and let us know what's going on there? Obviously, the Ocala Grand Prix in March was canceled. The GoPro race in June was canceled. But so you guys are really, again, like everybody, kind of rescheduling off into the months that we have. You did say that you potentially thought you could get up to 250 for that opener in Ocala. How do things look for the first race mid-July in Newcastle? Either you take that and run with it.
I don't even remember where we're at on numbers. We did just reopen. Tim can go over all that. But
good to have you here, Tim.
Anyway, our what should have been our championship race is going to be our opening race in July, and then we're going to go back to Road America for the first time for that series ever.
Right. And
in September over Labor Day weekend.
That's got to be the biggest race that Road America's had in quite a while. Have you guys had a USPKS race there?
No, this will be the first time, and I think a lot of teams we had talked to about going there, and they're going to be in the Midwest anyway for a month, and I think it's going to be a big event.
I love that racetrack. I remember when we were there in the mid-2000s with the Stars of Karting, and that track races I like that track a lot. I think
they resurfaced that place 2 years ago, man. It is. I mean, before you were racing on a scratch code.
Yeah.
I mean, that track, it's hard to get a hold of. It's slick. It's fast. I mean, not everybody can go practice there. I mean, it's a nice track.
I think it's a great opportunity.
That time of year, you're out it's even in the fall. I mean, it's a beautiful track. There's events going on there on the big track. I mean, you can walk over there and see that. The town for both events, it's really good, and I think they'll like it.
I do too.
I really do.
Tim, what's the call to wrap things up? Where are you guys going to do the finale this year?
Well, it looks like GoPro has got to be the place to wrap it up. It's it's the old standby, I guess, right now, and it's was supposed to be our first race, our opener, but we're going to be bringing it back to the Miami East home there at GoPro.
Yeah.
And it should be a great event. It's a little disappointing. We were hoping to get that one night race set up there, but that might end up proving to be a little bit too complicated for this year. And maybe when conditions are better, we'll be able to get that done. But yeah, that's it. I think I just wanted to make sure people who've never been to Road America put that one on their calendar, because that is a venue. Once you go there, you're going to want to go back.
Yeah, Kyle Kalish just posted up a comment that he thinks the last national at Road America was around 2011, 2012. So we're talking, 9-10 years since we've had a major event up at Road America. And Mark, listen, Road America knows how to put on events, SCCA runoffs, IndyCar, NASCAR weekends. Man, they know how to put an event on at the track itself. But like you said, the area is it's so much fun to go to. If people have never been to Road America for an event, it's a trek to get through Chicago, of course, to get to Road America.
No, it's easy. Just go around Chicago. It's no big deal.
This is true.
Cut underneath it and shoot up 39. You got it made.
There you go. We got MapQuest going here right now. ParkQuest. Oh boy. You've got Elkhart Lake. You got Sheboygan. You got there's just for a foodie like me to be able to go to Wisconsin. I love going to Road America, but just that town, they just love it. People love racing here. You got to go to Siebkens. That's what I was going to say. You got to go to Siebkens. You got to go to Siebkens. There's a great place to go to the Brown Bear for wings. It's just it's an awesome place to go. It's the National Park of Speed, right? That's what they call it. And it's gonna be a huge race. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We ship daily to ensure that you get your order as quickly as possible, and we are constantly adding new products to our online store. We specialize in IAME engines, Tillet seats, ceramic product line, OTK products, Briggs & Stratton engines, and of course, our championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fit your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. From coast to coast, Miami has become the two-cycle engine of choice for American karting. Starting with the air-cooled 60cc Swift engine for micro and mini drivers, and moving through the incredible X30 power plant for junior, senior, and masters, Miami is providing much-needed stability for the sport. In 2018, the new KA100 Rejet engine took the karting community by storm, and it will be a core class on the SCUSA Winter Series and Pro Tour, as well as the United States Pro Kart Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup programs. Watch for more regions, series, and events to get on board with the new Miami formula. This year, Miami USA is debuting the new SSE 175cc shifter engine, which will be the foundation of SuperKart's USA gearbox competition for the future. The engine has been custom designed with a balanced equation of performance and reliability. We have 2 distribution centers in the U.S. to serve you well. Miami East in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Miami West in Temecula, California. The momentum is continuing to build. It's time to make an investment in stabilizing your engine program. For more information, head to the website for your region, IamiUSAEast.com or IamiUSAWest.com. Miami, the heart of karting. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Hey,
I do it well.
Tim, question for you. You, Mark, either of you guys can talk about this. With the date now being October 15th to the 18th for the finale at GoPro, how's that going to affect the tickets for the Miami International Final, which I think, is it the same weekend, David?
That's a good question.
Is it the same weekend, David?
We'll let Mark handle that one.
Technically, right now, yes, the Miami International Final is that same week. And again, I was to say, as Mark stated, the July event, which is now the opener, was supposed to be the finale, and we have plenty of time to get all that sorted. So,
which is why we always did that.
Yeah, is why. Yeah, exactly. And so that was my thought of since we were going to have you guys on is because nothing's been said about it, and again, we don't know the status of the event yet because it's in October. We don't know exactly what travel bans are going to be lifted and everything like that. I'm assuming everything will be a little bit better by then, so they'll still have the event. But I wasn't quite sure how, because the last 4 years you've done tickets for the event.
Yes. What we're going to do this year is Eric and I've been talking about it. We're probably just going to give $2,000 to $3,000 bonus checks for the championship.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I won that trip, I'd even want to go, to be honest. I mean, how many people are going to want to travel out of the country right now? I think we're going to be lucky to get people to travel in our country, let alone out of our country. But we'll have all that. We're going to put it out here. We're actually keeping the same cash purses we had, which we really upped this year. Let
me set that up, because one of the huge things about USPKS, we talked about the success that you guys have had. We talked about the smaller, the small amount of races that people can pick. Tim talked about people being able to actually pick a race and support a series, and that's giving you guys lots of momentum. Your class structure is tight. It's not, you don't have 12 or 15 classes. You got a tight class structure, a little different for Route 66. You got a great class structure for both of these series. One of the big things you guys do is the prize table is huge. You guys give out a ton of cash, tons of prizes. Like it's not the most lucrative series you can run in North America right now.
I've always believed, first of all, none of us do this for a living. I mean, face it, everybody knows that. Tim's got a job, I got a job, Rick's got a job, everybody's got jobs. We do it because we enjoy it. Yeah. We like giving back. And the money did kind of help entries. I mean, face it.
Yeah, for some, for sure. Let's talk about partners. I want to give you guys an opportunity in kind of setting that up. The fact that you guys have so many partners you work with, the amount of stuff you guys give away. But either you guys can start spouting out some of the guys that make this series happen.
To start is IAME and MG do a ton for us. They're great people. They're good to work with. Eric has been great to us. The guys from MG have been great. That's another thing. MG this year is at Newcastle Motorsports Park is the new tire over there. So it's more and more tracks are going to MG. I remember when we first started, we had a couple tires blister, and they had us take a picture of the tire and the code, and they knew what caused that problem before we left the event.
They're good people, man, at MG for
Great
sure.
People.
Yeah.
We're VP Fuel. This year we've switched our oil. Help me out here, Tim.
Ceramic.
Ceramic. I couldn't think what I was doing. Oh, there it is, right there. I'm not organized.
That's all right.
The ceramic oil. We dropped back to VP98 fuel. We got a ton of shops. I'd like to thank.
Oh, do you want me to go through that? I mean, you're talking about Ferris, Trinity, Rollison, Franklin. There's just so many of them that have all pitched in. Speed, Timmy Tech, Tim Schott and his gang. There's more. I can't think of them all, but those are all people. Luca Mars and his crowd. And those are all people who have they're the ones that are bringing the racers to the track.
Oh, yeah.
We bring the program. They bring the party. That's what it is.
You got Nitro Kart in there. You got Kart Sport in there. I don't know if you said Team Ferris. You got those guys in there. Mike Doty.
Yep.
Just a ton of people in there. You said Franklin Motorsports, Comet Kart Sales. All the engine builders are, your biggies. You got Allison. You got Wolcher. You got Franklin in there. You got Comet. You just got all your big names are involved. AIM Sports with your gauges and your telemetry. Target Distributing, you got Briggs is very important to the other series.
Yeah.
BBS Engines is there. Kart Lift, even though Tim's out with Kart Lift, we still got to plug Kart Lift. D&J Intermobile Services, a freight company. It's just a lot of good people, and we had to turn people down this year. And I hate turning money down. It's just because it's a big boat to turn.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank all of our sponsors and our racers.
Well, you know what? One of the things that David and I always talk about is the fact that for our sport to have big, strong series, it's that pillar, right, that we're able to hang everything off of. Because when you have a strong series, shops are able to sell that series to their racers. People are driving, people are racing, burning through consumables. You have to have strong series, and you guys have two of them, which is great in both Route 66 and USPKS. I do want to ask this. If we're talking about going to 4 races next year, Mark, what's that 4th racetrack? Where are we going?
Don't know. There's a lot of good tracks. You got Texas. I mean, there's people wanting us to go the other direction.
Ooh, sports.
And the question is when, too, because really, again, the calendar, if we're ending by July, you're kind of limited March, April, June, July, or May, June, July.
It doesn't say you can't start earlier.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. We've had people want us to do races in December and January and stuff. It's just there's so much going on in the States already. So it's just stuff we're mulling around. You got to see we're driven by our sponsors.
Yeah.
AMAX Racing, I forgot to mention those guys on the route side. They're great people from Maxwell's. But
my vote is for Texas. I've been pushing Texas for about a year now. Mostly because I have friends in Texas, but whatever.
I didn't know you had that many friends. Gosh,
both of them. They're both in Texas.
Well, if you're thinking Houston, like I said, I've been to Alan Rudolph's track a number of times with Texas Pro Kart Challenge. It's a fantastic facility, and he
texts me all the time, so he's on my radar.
It's a great track, and Tim, you'll like the tower. It's a pretty great tower up there. Air conditioning, you can see everything. You'll be good to go.
The name of the tower is what's the worst?
Yeah, I saw his name on the door in some picture, and I was like, oh my.
Well, actually, you know what? He's the first. I'll give this up here. And Andy Saisman goes, and he likes barbecue. There's awesome restaurants there. Great Mexican, great burgers, great barbecue. But here's the one thing about Rudolph's track. the reason why my name's on the door, because when he was building the track, he called me and said, "Hey, what do you want as an announcer? What do you want out of your booth?" So that was kind of cool. He was first.
That's got to be a first.
Yeah, first person that actually called to ask.
I want air conditioning.
It's got air conditioning. Trust me.
Another track that's they're doing a lot of work on is the Trinity Karting Group's track over there. I forgot the name.
Yeah, I actually just messaged Sean Bailiff to get him on Face2Face to give us an update, because they've been doing a ton of work, but he's working.
He sent me pictures, man, and it's really looking nice over there.
Yeah, they're going to work, and they're going to have their own series. They're a small club series as well. Their Pro-Am series. So yeah, it's a great to have a track like that in Cincinnati too. I think that's big. We always talk about new racetracks, right? Anytime we can talk about a new racetrack, we're happy to hear about it. A buddy of
mine does the Buckeye Karting Series, Scott, and they got a race going to be there, and it's different tracks.
Yep, they message us as well. They're actually getting going pretty soon at Thompson, I think, next weekend.
They're started Thompson in a couple weeks.
The Buckeye Karting Challenge for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, anything else you might want to drop out here? We're 40 minutes. We rock and roll here. Anything else you want to say?
Hey, I wish my camera worked so you guys could all see my beautiful face, but it's
we got to do this again.
Talking to you guys.
Hey, one thing I like to say is, like I said, all of our people are, they do it because they enjoy it. Rick Jump's our tech guy. Rick is just a great guy. And I just feel we got one of the best tech crews in the country right now going. With Al and Tim Anderson and Rick, and actually, God, getting old, guys.
You would not believe how many times other series ask to use our tech staff.
Tim, I don't think that people. It's not one of the sexy jobs, right? It's not the thing we talk about out of the gate. Oh, this was this, or this happened, or
no one has ever said Rick Jump and sexy in the same sentence. Just so you know.
Well, there you go.
I'll tell you,
you're right.
Emily Lemke, she does a lot for the series, and the guys don't give her no lip.
Well, I'm just saying, it's one of those things when you have great tech. Nobody really talks about it. It's just that thing, that when you go to the series, the tech's handled. Everybody has that feeling of I'm not getting cheated. It's that level playing field. We don't talk about it a lot, and I think we need. I'm glad, Tim, you brought up Rick Jump and the crew there, because it's that kind of unsung kind of hero that you have that makes things happen, which I think is big.
Well,
it's like they're working with NHRA on different fuel testing and stuff with VP. We have a better fuel tester than they do. I mean, that thing costs like $5,500 7-8 years ago, and we take tech serious. We really do. When you're beat fair and square.
That's it, and that's the thing, and that's the calling card of the series, right? That's part of it.
There's other series that I go to, and it's like, man, I smell fuel, or I smell this, and it's just like stuff like that we don't allow.
Every time Dave goes to a race for do an EK and Trackside Live, he does criticize Rick Folks a lot, though. He says that the race direction is not that great.
He's not with us anymore, so it's good.
That's why he's gone.
That's when he was there.
That's
funny.
Well,
talk about your staff right now. Talk about your race officiating staff.
Jason Ludwig's the head guy on that now. We're bringing on some new people this year.
Hey, can I chime in on Jason?
Sure.
And David, you can as well too, David, because you spoke very highly of him.
Yep.
Oh, no one cares what David thinks. But as far as Jason goes, me and David spent too much time together in the tower.
Way too much.
Way too much.
We're rooming together this year, by the way.
I have an incredible amount of respect for Jason Ludwig, and he's one of these guys. When you first look at him, you're like, I don't know about this guy, but once you get to know him and work with him, he's just the nicest guy. He's polite, and he treats our racers very well. Even if the racers are wrong, he still treats them well. And that's one of his redeeming qualities, is that he's able to tell somebody, you're penalized, here's why, and they can be mad about it, and he doesn't get mad. Yeah. He just lets them say their piece and says, are we done then? And, and it leaves everybody, they don't go home with that bitter taste in their mouth. Our officials they're not arrogant. They try to treat people like they would want to be treated if they were racers. And Jason is really the leader of the pack on that.
I like that. Yep. We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Top-level production with a focus on a single form of motorsports, karting. This is MG Tires. MG Tires USA, underneath the Vantage Karting Group banner, is the official distributor of the MG Tires brand for the United States. MG Tires are the official spec tire in the United States Pro Kart Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, Sunshine State Karting Challenge, and countless clubs across the country. No matter your compound preference, MG Tires USA has you covered. The 2020 season brings a new homologation period, featuring new names for the same superior products. Whether it's the medium SH Red, the soft SM Yellow, the super soft green SS, or the intermediate white IZ, MG Tires USA has your winning set of rubber in stock. Indoor and outdoor rental facilities can now trust MG Tires with their solution for long-lasting and the best performance, with 3 different compounds available through the RL line. For more info about MG Tires USA and its extensive list of dealers near you, check out their website at mgtiresusa.com. MG Tires, for the drivers.
History, success, family. Those are the 3 words that describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation is located just outside of Indianapolis, and they have provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers throughout their near 6 decades of business. Comet's online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. Comet Kart Sales attends dozens of karting events every year, offering trackside service for racers and families. Karting veterans Mark Dismore Jr. and Gary Lawson provide one-on-one driver coaching and tuning assistance for each trackside customer. The engine building business, Comet Racing Engines, has won countless major events and championships over decades of karting, and they continue to offer the best trackside service in the industry. Make sure you head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be a part of the Comet Kart Sales family today.
Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network.
And this year, Sam Ballard's coming on with us, Sam Ballard Jr. You got Xander Clemens coming on. Matt Dials will be working with us. Steve Everett, our grid guy. Ali and scoring. You got Denny Longs, the flagman in USPKS. You got Porter Weisenthal and Route. Chris and Tim. Al Weisenthal is with Tech with Tim Anderson. And, just a great team. Gracie Humphreys, you saw at the pit gate. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but
we want to make sure everybody has fun. And the staff's one of the big things we talk about. The staff, the racers are here to have fun. Yeah, they're spending money and they want to have a good race, but they want it to be fair and they want it to be fun.
Yep.
And no one wants to go home with a broken cart and a bad attitude, and because they got yelled at.
Yeah, that's the worst. That adds insult to injury, right? When you get yelled at the end of it at all. Well, guys, I think we did what we needed to do here. We were trying to make sure that those people who maybe don't know about USPKS or about the Route 66 Sprint Series got a little taste of what's happening. Tough time for all of us. You guys, as you guys said, you guys would be half through the program pretty much already, USPKS, just looking at your finales. So you guys are flipping the script and starting there to kind of, get rolling again after we get racing. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark. Tim, thanks for coming in audio only. We appreciate having you here. Great to have you guys.
All right,
hey, thanks for having us on. We appreciate it. We'll see you at the track.
Right. I cannot wait to get to the racetrack. David's feeling the same way. Guys, thank you so much. We'll drop them out of here. David, you've really had an opportunity over the last years. We've had a great partnership with Mark and Tim and the USPKS. You've been there with the EK and Trackside Live, always reporting back. We do our debriefs, and I know that you speak very highly of Jason as well and the whole crew there.
Yeah, the race officials there have been phenomenal from the day they began till even when Rick was there at the beginning. Yeah, I'll give him a little bit of credit there, but
I wanted to slam him there.
but yeah, I mean, they've had Tony jump there as a head flagman, and he provided, again, it's former racers, and I think that's kind of what helps. Guys who have raced not only in the past for the last decade, but people who are racing in the series or been around them or have seen them. So it's about being familiar with guys and what they do and how they race. I think that kind of helps, but just knowing they know how everything is going to unfold and they see things happening as it happens. And so that's how they've been able to do that as, without cameras again, because they've done the entire program without any cameras, but they were the first program to bring in the pushback bumpers, which, it was just kind of the one thing we've always talked about with the pushback bumpers was to eliminate those crazy starts. And that's one of the things that USPKS focused on, was eliminating those crazy starts. And they were able to do that with the pushback bumper, but Jason's done a great job. Had Cale Weiss along with him. I'm drawing a blank on the third name, but my roommate, and I can't even think of his name now. But they've done a phenomenal job because they've known their position, they know what they needed to do, and that's one of the key aspects as being a race official. And we see that from the different programs we go to here and there throughout the year. But it's just knowing what your job has to be and completing that job.
Well, folks, we talk a lot about the karting pyramid as well, the foundation being kart clubs, and of course then Route 66 slotting in as kind of that regional program, and then on the East Coast, the national program, United States Pro Kart Series. Of course, a lot of money goes back, a lot of money for prize money. The prize tables are ridiculous at the end of the year for the award ceremonies. What they do, Mark and Tim, of course, love giving back to the sport. And as you talked about, all the people that are kind of coming in to be part of this program to make that family at the USPKS are people that have done racing before. So we appreciate them having you with us. Hopefully, we're able to kind of bring you up to speed. If you didn't know anything about the USPKS or Route 66, a couple of great programs that are continuing on. USPKS, we kind of updated you on both programs as well, and what they're looking at doing. With the rescheduling. Of course, as we know, a couple of TBD dates still for Route 66 after starting at Road America on July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They go to Wolf Paving Raceway at Doushman, Badger Kart Club on August the 28th to the 30th. Late September TBD for Route, and then October 8 to 11 as well, the Columbus Day weekend, I believe that is. Again, that's Micro Swift, Mini Swift, all the K100 categories and 4 Briggs classes too. USPKS July the 16th to the 19th at Newcastle for the Hoosier State Grand Prix. Badger State on September 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th at Road America. We talked about that great event. And then they'll cap things off down at GoPro with the Carolina Grand Prix on October 15th to the 18th. So that wraps things up for them. Again, David, everybody's restructured. People are going to try to not get on top of each other. There's going to be a little conflict here and there. We always say this, we want people to kind of understand that that's going to happen.
Yeah, you just kind of, again, Tim kind of talked about that during the show. You kind of have to realize what you want to focus on and go with that. And I think really that's going to be the remainder of the 2020 season. And then we're going to be all able to regroup, hopefully, come December and January, and be able to have, a proper race season.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
When things get back to kind of the way they were before this pandemic hit. But it was Mike Nesbitt that was the other official. So Mike's another former mechanic, racer, and again, being able to see what you're doing, and thankfully Mark was able to give me his name. But yeah, so again, the Route 66 program I think is really going to help allow club people to go regional racing, and you got the ability to run multiple classes, and then and again, USPKS is going to be huge. As you said, a lot of people haven't been to Road America. That I think the national that Kyle Kalish was talking about was the WK. Yeah. I think you announced one weekend there back in the day while we were racing on the big tracks for the road race. So it's been almost a decade since we had a big major event there. So it'll be good to see. And again, the pavement, they're making upgrades to the facility, so it'll be great to go back to there.
Graham Rahal's first big 125cc shifter win was at Road America back in the mid-2000s with the Stars of Karting. All right, folks, we're going to cap things off here for this face-to-face. Remember, #support karting, trying to support the sport. There are still shops that aren't rolling yet. They need your help. If you haven't picked up one of our EKN Support Karting t-shirts, they're available at ekartingnews.com/store. We got to pick a couple of winners to give some awards out. I'm going to start making a list of everybody who shared that on social. When you get your shirt, put it on social, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Make sure you tag ekartingnews.com and use the #supportkarting, and we'll be able to do what we can. We're going to give some prizes out. But again, thank you so much, folks, for joining us here on EKN Face to Face. Remember, tomorrow We've got Michael Valiente from the Pacific Northwest. He's going to talk about the ICP Cup, the program that's going on up there. We'll get an update out of that area. Then, of course, we'll talk to Marco Oldoffer as well. He'll be on with us. He'll give us an update on what's going on with the F Series in the Northeast. Thank you so much for joining us here, folks, on Face to Face. David Cole, Rob Howden, book it.